Alright guys, so Battlefront 2 graced us with another surprise update today. So today we're going to be talking about the new units, a little bit about the new maps, about the new weapons, and you guys are going to let me know what you think down in the comments. Alright, this is where most YouTubers would put a like goal for the video, but my goal for this video is just not to get copyright claimed by EA or Disney, so if we could just not let that happen, I would appreciate it. But let's just get into our first unit here. So both the new units added to the game are for the Infiltrator class, this ISB agent for the Galactic Empire, and the good old Ewok for the Rebels. So let's talk about the ISB agent first. So she has two primary blasters just like the ARC Trooper, except significantly worse. Alright, so for her, I don't want to talk so much about her weapon and how it is. Just look at the abilities like you do with every good unit. Alright. So the first ability, we can go left to right and then do the passive last, is Assault Training. This allows the ISB agent to have increased speed as well as decreased damage while sprinting. Alright, this one's really good, particularly because she has good melee ability, so she can kind of get in fast, melee somebody, and then back off. Alright, the next one is just like the ARC Trooper and every other person that has it. You can scan enemies through walls. Now this one kind of has a difference in the fact that, you know, depending on how many kills you've racked up, then it changes the number of people you can scan and so on and so on. And then the final ability allows her to, it's like the officer's ability to, you know, buff her allies around her, and for each person that she buffs, she also buffs herself. And then her final passive ability isn't the greatest thing ever, but it's a passive ability, so we'll take it. It basically allows her to gain health back to her base health on melee attacks, so this kind of goes hand in hand with that sprinting ability, but we'll get some gameplay of her here in a minute. But let's switch over to the good old Ewok, the thumbnail of the video, rightfully, because it's clearly the best unit in the game. So we'll just let the camera, you know, pan around our Ewok friend here. His primary is a bow and arrow, as you can see, and it has this weird kind of ability to auto-aim, but I wouldn't even mess with that. I would just shoot it on your own, simply because the damage on the auto-aim attack, I guess, is really weak. You know, you could one-shot people aiming on your own, so that's kind of the way to go for that. So again, we'll start left or right. So the LB ability, or L1, or whatever you're playing on, alright, you throw a patch of fireflies at people, alright, and this is where I would insert the song for a meme, but we're not trying to get claimed on this one, so, you know, gotta keep it, just imagine the song, alright, and so you throw the pouch at people, and it's just like, I believe, an Ewok hunt, where they get disoriented and they take a little bit of damage, just like all the other area of effect grenades. You know, it's not the greatest thing ever, but does its job. Alright, the Hunter's Instincts allows you to see enemies through walls, and I guess the most interesting part about this ability is it shows weak enemies, right? So normal enemies will be highlighted yellow, and then weaker, closer to death enemies will be highlighted red. Again, with that bow and arrow, this is a really useful ability, because if you're just using that auto aim, it takes you 3-4 shots to kill some of these guys. So if you know they're 1-2 shots, you might want to go for them first. So this is just one of those things that it doesn't seem like it would make a big difference, but it does. So then the good old horn that is nightmarish in Ewok Hunt, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So it allows you to gain kind of a slight buff in the fact that you can do more damage, but it makes you weaker in the fact that it reveals your location, right? So it's kind of has a balance to it. And then the passive ability for the Ewok is one of those weird ones, alright? So it doesn't sound too bad just by reading it, right? You crouch and you slowly, you know, cool down your abilities faster. Okay, cool. I can throw more fireflies at people. Awesome. But the problem with that they don't really tell you until you do it, is the movement speed is so slow crouched. Like, you basically can't move while you're crouched. So you have to just go sit in a corner to recharge your abilities. So again, that's one of those ones that you're not really going to use that much. You know, who's going to go sit in a corner? I mean, there's people that do that, but... So, that's the two new units. Now let's look at gameplay of the units, and I'll narrate a little bit over the gameplay, but I might just let it play, and here we go. So almost immediately after saying that, I realized that I will most definitely get claimed if I just let this game play, because it claimed for about 8 seconds of music in my last Battlefront video. So I'll just tell you my problems with this unit right now while the gameplay is going. Alright, so the ARC Trooper has the LTRT, the two triggers, whatever you're playing on, is how you fire, right? And I don't know if that just allows you to fire faster, or if they just have the rate of fire on this individual blaster super low, but you only use the right trigger to fire, because your left trigger is a secondary, big blast like Leia has, right? And so that just weakens the blaster, slow rate of fire, doesn't kill as quickly, which becomes a problem, alright? The other problem that I have with this character is I feel like it needs a grenade, or some sort of throwable explosive to take out large groups, right? You can see enemies through walls, you can heal your allies and teammates, you can run fast and rush, but you don't really have, a large utility to take out large groups. While yes, you have the stronger blaster shot like Leia had, that's not exactly useful against exactly large groups of enemies. It's more for like a hero or some kind of unit like a Wookiee warrior or something like that. It's not exactly the best for groups. And so that's kind of my problem with this class. The health is fine, it's where it should be, but the Ewok is kind of where where the gameplay shines. And by shines, I mean I literally cannot hit anything, but let's just cut to that now. So here's my dilemma with the Ewok. You see me aiming on my own here, and I did about half damage to that Death Trooper, right? You can see I'm going to hit enemies, I'm not really going to kill any of them, okay? And so that red kind of diamond you're seeing, that's the auto-aim system. And if you kind of notice how little damage that's doing, you have to shoot people so many times to get the kill with the auto-aim system that it's almost not even worth it. You should almost always aim when you're shooting. And something I learned later was if you hold it for a specific amount of time, you can do more damage and it will go further. But my problem with this unit's kind of primary weapon, I guess, would be the fact that they want you to use it as a long-range weapon, but it doesn't have the factors that a long-range weapon needs, right? So it just doesn't have that range. It can't shoot far enough. It needs to be able to shoot further or shoot faster. Those are the only two ways to balance this, right? Either let it have more distance so that this high damage, low rate of fire works, or give it a higher rate of fire so that it can work at closer ranges. Right? The abilities are actually alright. The Fireflies, insert meme again, are actually more annoying than they are useful, but they're good for crowds and crowd control. The see-through walls, like all of the other abilities, are just exactly like every other one. If anything, it's better than the other ones because you can see health. And the horn, again, honestly, for giving away your location, it's not the greatest. It doesn't have as high of a damage output as I would like it to be, but it is the way it is, right? And you can see me, the little yellow lines means you fully charged the attack. It wants me to just whiff that shot. So the Ewok's alright, right? It's really small and really hard to hit when you're trying to kill it, but I would just place it in the middle of the units, right? Like, I'm gonna pick this probably over maybe the Commando droid or some of those things, but like the Droideka, the ARC Trooper, maybe the Clone Commando, they've made them a little bit better, but I'm still not the biggest fan of the Clone Commandos. But this is more of just a fun unit, I think, in my opinion. Just something, you just kill Darth Vader with an Ewok. You can kind of rub it in that guy's face. But let me know what you guys think of the Ewok. But now we're going to talk about something very interesting. So, they added new weapons to the game, which the game's been out for over 2 years, and never spoke of mentioning new weapons, in this capacity, or at least at all recently. So let's look at these new weapons, what you have to do to get them, and if any of them are even worth getting. Alright, so you kind of got to search for these weapons. They're underneath the career tab, and then trooper, whatever the tab says. And so they tell you they have to get 50 kills as each class in co-op to unlock the weapons, which is kind of interesting because I feel like the general kind of audience that plays this game isn't really playing much co-op, and they're not really going to search for how to get weapons. They probably didn't even know there was an update today. That's why you're watching this video. And so the fact that they kind of put it in a weird game mode that not too many people probably play is interesting, but nonetheless, you get 50 kills in co-op as each class to unlock the new weapons. Alright, so now let's cut to some gameplay of each weapon, and I'll tell you what I think about the weapons. Alright, so first is Assault, and just so you guys know, my main class I play in this is Heavy. I did play Assault when the game first came out, but once they kind of nerfed the shotgun, I switched over to Heavy. So, I don't really like any of the blasters in Assault. So when I saw kind of how this performed, I liked it a lot. It has decently high damage compared to the other blasters in the Assault class, and a pretty decent rate of fire also. I don't really have any problems with this one. You know, this is definitely going to be the blaster I go to if I ever play Assault. And you can see how terrible the shotgun is now. The blaster looks cool, I think, anyways. And the recoil is definitely controllable, unlike some of the other weapons we'll talk about later. And the overheating doesn't become overbearing at any point. It's just a solid weapon. Alright. Now, if we move on to our next weapon, this is probably the weirdest weapon in terms of choice, but that does not mean it's bad. So for the Heavy class, they added this very slow firing, high damage, high range blaster. Alright, you'll see what I'm talking about here when I shoot it in a second. Very slow. Alright, but the damage is great, the range is great, recoil isn't bad at all. This is definitely one of those shield guns. You just want to pop that shield up if someone comes up close to you. Just slap two blaster bolts right in their head, and that's the end of it. Alright? It's a solid gun. Again, you know, it's more for range, so on some of these closer range maps, like the Death Star and some of those maps, you might want to stick to more of the higher rate of fire weapons in this class. But for something open, like Yavin, or maybe Tatooine, if you're holding the sides of the map, this is a really strong weapon. It's a good addition, and that's kind of a trend we're seeing so far, and the trend is going to continue for maybe one more weapon, and then we'll look at something interesting. So next, going in order, is the Officer class. Now, I don't really like the Officer class. Like, I understand why people like it and what it does, but I'm just not a big fan of it. Alright, and the only blaster that I like in it is probably the blaster that you all hate. The Heavy blaster that has the big old scope on it that shoots super slow, and it's just terrible by most people's means. That's the one that I like. Alright, because you can just shoot people in the head from really far away and kill them with it. Except, they added this blaster. This is the newest one, and I actually like this one. This one's solid. You know, I still don't like the Officer class all that much, but the blaster itself is really good. Alright, it's got that high rate of fire, nice damage, much like the Assault's blaster. It's just good all around. It overheats a little quickly for some of those higher level units, sometimes even Heavies with the shield it has problems with, but it's a pretty solid blaster all around. But the next one, so I don't even know how to put it into words. Let's just look at this beast of a weapon. Alright, so it looks cool. It's got that long barrel, you know, high damage, one shot your enemies. Well, forget all that. Alright, so I don't make games, but I would say I dabble in playing games. You know, I play little video games, right? A sniper rifle, fundamentally, is for long range, high damage. Alright, so you want something that you can shoot somebody with once, maybe twice from far away, and you want to be able to drop those shots consistently. Okay? So why would you make a sniper rifle that shoots marshmallows and has the recoil of a Barrett 50? This gun has so much recoil, it's almost impossible to land 2 consecutive shots. Like, this is like last year Glaz in Rainbow Six Siege, right? Like, they just put the recoil setting, some dude was on the mouse and scrolled the wheel a little bit too far, alright? It's ridiculous to land consecutive shots, and even if you do, they don't kill. You have to basically land 2 headshots with this gun to kill somebody. I don't know who designed the sniper rifles in this game. There's only one that's good. There's only one that works. Alright, for long range, like an actual sniper rifle should. This gun, I mean, I do alright with it, but that's because I'm shooting an Ewok. Alright? He has a bow and arrow. I should win this gunfight. So, I just don't understand this weapon. If you like it, I mean, that's cool. Good for you. You can do good with it. There's just problems with it. Alright? That's just... I don't understand this gun. So to end this video off, after that tangent of a rage about the design of that sniper rifle, we're gonna let some good old Ewok gameplay end us out here. Alright? And again, don't make fun of me. The Ewok is hard. Alright? And so overall, with this update, they added some alright things. It's nothing fantastic, nothing, you know, game breaking, unless you are a sniper and for some reason want to use that terrible gun. But it was just an alright update, right? They added some new co-op stuff, which is fine. I don't care much about co-op. I'll link the video so you guys can see all of the actual individual things they added. But soon, and by soon I mean within the rest of 2020, because that's how things work. Sometime, you remember, if you're an old boy, you remember that 2015 Battlefront. Not the good one, but they had that one good game mode. Alright, well, they're bringing that shit back. Alright, when I say they're bringing that shit back, I mean they may or may not fuck it up. Alright, and this is the end of the video, so I can just say whatever I want. All the 12-year-olds went to bed by now. Alright, that shit might smack, and it might be terrible. Alright, I mean, I know that's really vague, but I don't have any information about it. I just know they're bringing it back. Alright, it smacked 5 years ago, so it could smack now. Alright, I'll definitely be doing a video on that when that comes out. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, comment, and if you have some godly level of skill to where you can use that sniper rifle, send me the clip. Or if you're an absolute demon as an Ewok, send me a clip. I want to see it. Alright, that link's in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.